Babies, my babies, how are you, my babies? Today's video! It's been a good afternoon. I'll explain to you about my day later. Or maybe just now, why the fuck not? Today was the first day I'm supposed to have my phone off. Completely. Yesterday was the first day. But I kind of like turned it on to call my mom and tell her that, hey, Habibi, I'm going to be basically turning my phone off for a while, so why the fuck not? Anyway, so I wake up today, I walk, but I instantly, now I'm noticing that it's resistance, right? I'm instantly noticing that I don't want to be at home. Why? Because I kind of like wanted to be by myself and made a decision. I'm always like kind of hanging out by on my own. There's a big difference between me spending a full couple of days, 3 days, like just chilling by myself, barely interacting with people, and I think versus friends and family. Because I think that friends and family part has been like consistent the past 2 months, ever since my mom kind of came from Spain, and I haven't truly been spending time alone. Because even when I'm kind of like here, I get a phone call from her and stuff like this. So it feels like there's a certain zone that you kind of like when you detach, right? And it's not why, like I actually like want to go hang out with her and all that good stuff. It's just like you 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 can do it once a week, twice a week, but you can't be thinking about going there. And I'm either like this question kind of comes with, am I actually considering now where I am? And I'm not really liking this position because it's a position of change and it's uncomfortable. So I kind of like would rather hang out in a safe space. Although I'm there, but I'm not really actively doing anything. It's very much I'm just there. So it's feeling a bit selfish from my side to just want to go there. And there's a little kind of like tension between me. Uh, there's some tension in the family, man. I don't know. And it's partially because I guess I'm stubborn or fuck, man. How do I say this? Because like as I explained it to you, I'm trying not to be an asshole, but I'm also like realizing that feelings sway either way, right? So let's put it this way. I'm not really very engaging with members of my family. They did nothing wrong. It's just I don't see there's anything to talk about with them. And that's kind of causing drama. Even though I didn't want to go a couple of times, I didn't go. But just the fact that I wasn't there kind of like would get to me, right? Like everyone's hanging out, but I'm not there. So I think that's kind of like a good separation that I want to go into. That's why I'm kind of like turning things off. Or at the very least, the phone. So I saw her, and I told her, okay, Habibi, I'm going to be seeing you. Maybe let's agree when I'm seeing you next, and from there we take it from there. So it was fun to actually kind of like make a plan Sunday. Well, anyway, it's done 2 days from now, basically. So it was weird because when I sat home, I get resistance. I get go out, do something. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna take my laptop with me and do whatever it is I'm doing here. Why am I not comfortable doing it here? Just like the back and forth between like, why would I want to leave? I don't know. You're hungry. Yeah, but you can make food here. I just feel like food outside. All of these kind of like when I go out, I go like, okay, so I did this and then what? I have this to do. I want to do this. I want to do this. And it's funny because I was looking at my to-do list, and one of the things my to-do list is clear all the tabs. That has been there for over a month and a half. And the problem is that I'm never consistent going through the whole thing because as I go through something, for example, I was just reading a paper earlier about Rishi Devata Chandas, and it's I've read it more than once, by the way. Like some things kind of like you feel them, you don't really understand them, and you kind of have to go over and over again because you have to teach yourself. It's funny because it's about like consciousness and how consciousness, when it saw itself, it saw the world, the physical realm, and basically that created the space of the knowledge in between. And then with every step backwards, more, it's kind of like it's multiplicity happening. But so while I was reading it, I'd opened like three, four tabs, and then suddenly, man, I have more tabs left than when I started, so I couldn't do it. But today I put it as an actual like let's go through all the things I said I wanted to read or watch or just kind of like engage with. And it has been fun. There has been a certain kind of like, I'm doing it, I'm almost there vibe. So amazing. And I wanted to share that with you. It goes 4 minutes of the video, 5 minutes and 20 seconds. But so today's video is about conditioning and super fun, right? Because effectively, my story is kind of like detaching from things that I actually like revert to. That attract me. No, what's the movement? Gravitate to. All right. So we could consider conditioning as like things that are easier for you to make a decision about. Why would I do that? Because your mind processes some things faster simply because you're used to them. And you can get used to bad habits the same way you can get used to good habits. Amazing. So conditioning could literally be like the things that you kind of go like, oh, all right, let me do this, and then you go. Oof. So if I'm on track, or if there was something that was already planned, or if the present moment called for something different. And it's funny because the present moment does not text you, right? Distractions kind of like text you. And I get it. If it's something serious, though, like people would do more than just, you would not be checking your texts, I mean, every 5 seconds because you're looking for a distraction and not being present. And then you basically, if you receive a text, it's fine. All of this is fine until maybe somebody calls or somebody knocks on your door, right? Like you decide the limitations of where something has to really demand your attention, which could be considered a present moment. So, and I wrote here conforming, proving, appearing, survival, appeasing, survival, like money wise, religions, social, and political correctness. I think I was thinking of the different ways where my attitude kind of doesn't fit, or at the very least, where my attitude is being presented as not normal. And we all have those moments where we're kind of like doing something and suddenly we're like, hey, uh, it's either that's not how I do it or like, why the hell do you do it that way? Right? I don't know. Maybe it's just like a thing in the Arab world. I doubt it, man. Every culture has a way of kind of like doing the same thing. We're all humans at the end of the day. So I hope you guys remember Smurf. He's been a very good dad lately, by the way. Very good dad. And he just, poor babies, like when they actually, like, when he comes to snuggle with them when they're crying, they kind of start looking for his boobs. But, anyways, so different. We either conform, which is a type of us conditioning ourselves, I guess, like having something to prove. You're actually looking at someone and wanting to be. I think having something. All right, so like if I were to look at these, read them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? I went for 7. Not bad. 7 is a good number. But so there are some conditionings that are imposed on us by others, and some conditionings that we impose on ourselves. And each one of them I can see is kind of splits because I can conform because I want something. I can conform because I want to show you something. I can conform because I don't want you to give me something, which is appeasing. I can conform in order to survive. I can conform just because I want to kind of like be religious, spiritual, or something like this. I can, again, conforming, right? Because like in almost every fucking teaching, it's always about like you kind of have to learn everything that already is there and then create something on your own. So you have to have an approach towards it, but at one point you're gonna have to like figure out your own approach. Like, knowledge is basically at maximum research. It doesn't directly feed understanding unless you create something out of it, right? Because knowledge is just like like dots on a line. You kind of have to connect them, and everyone like has a specific handwriting and shit like this. And then there's social conditioning and also political, basically. Here I wrote political correctness because I don't know why I separated social from political correctness. Why would I do that? It's because politics, I think, when it comes to, I think political correctness, I separated it maybe because of the fact that I think is lying. The political correctness is not really something that's like honest and truthful. And we could also be conditioned to that. It's a social thing, though, isn't it? It's a way for people to condition us socially. But there's something different between social and political. I think social is more of a cultural bond, whilst political is more of a my own benefits bond, right? Like we can form political correlations in order to get what we want, but what we want could be different for each one, and it doesn't really matter. Whilst socially, we're a lot more in tune to what we want, right? Like each side has a. I'm glad I actually discussed it. I'm gonna keep this note for later. But as for whatever I just did, man, it's a fucking video. Love you guys.